Welcome to Will and Mark's Healthy Sports Obsession. I'm Will Hubner here with Mark Mashashik. We are two doctors of physical therapy, and we are here to answer your PT questions as well as give our take on current sporting events from a health perspective. As always, send your questions to willandmarkshso@gmail.com, and we will answer them on the show. Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode. I'm Will here with Mark. Today we're going to be talking about the wild card, Nationals, Brewers particularly. We're going to go over home field advantage, kind of answer some questions that some fans had. We're also going to talk about some NFL injury concerns or NFL injuries from the past week, as well as go over some fun, kind of a clue game, kind of which weapon would be each NFL quarterback's choice. So let's get right to it. We'll start with the Nationals and Brewers. They've already decided Max Scherzer is going to be the starting pitcher. He's going up against Woodruff. Just overall thoughts. Who do you think wins that game just to start off?
Well, I think the Nats definitely win the game. Also, I mean, this goes into our fan poll last week. The poll was not who will they start. It's who should they start.
Correct.
You went Strasburg. They ended up going Scherzer. Feelings on it. You said it wouldn't kill you.
Yeah, right. I mean, either way, if you're getting Max Scherzer, you can't be upset. You got to like your chances. He is, for a career, overall the best pitcher maybe in the game. Definitely has the best career on the Nationals. I just think right now with Scherzer coming off of the injury, the back inflammation, he hasn't looked as sharp as he has in the past when he is fully healthy. I'm not saying that he's not fully healthy, but Strasburg's having a career year. I think he's pitching right now better than Scherzer, but I'm happy to see Scherzer out there too.
I think Martinez went out and asked Strasburg, do you want to pitch? And he said, yes, I want the game. And Scherzer walked in and said, I'm pitching the game. Picked up the ball and walked out of the office.
Well, that's just like from the perspective there. I mean, Max is the ultimate gamer. Like, you could put Max in with one out in the bottom of the first, and he's going to be like, all right, I'm ready to go.
Right.
Whereas I just get the sense of Strasburg has a little bit more of a routine, kind of needs to have all of his, apples in a basket before he gets out there and does his thing.
We're agreed. No wrong answer on this one.
No wrong answer.
Scherzer's going to go out there. He's going to be a gamer. He's going to get him the win. Everyone excited. Go Nats tomorrow.
I do expect them to win.
Of course.
They have definitely the best pitching matchup. I am very concerned about the bullpen.
Everyone is. That's the whole season.
And then everybody's saying,
who are they facing though?
The Brewers.
Yeah, but who's pitching for the Brewers?
Woodruff, right. So the Nationals should be able to score a few runs. I've just seen it plenty of times where, Nats go out with a 3-run lead going into the 7th and 8th, and all of a sudden it's a really close game at the end. But we've been getting a lot of questions from people about...
So we got some fan questions based on Nats and home field advantage. What do we got for questions?
All right, so this one's from Seth from Centerville, Virginia.
Okay.
So he said, does home field advantage matter? If so, in which sports more than others? There's a second part, but let's get to that one first.
Okay.
Home field matter, yes or no? Let's talk about baseball first. How much does it matter in baseball?
I'm going to really answer a lot of the second part of the question, which we'll get into, but I do not believe home field advantage is as valuable in baseball.
Okay. What reasoning?
What reasoning is it an advantage?
Certainly momentum, certainly energy. It's always nice to have the fans, behind you, backing you.
So my knock on that is just as much as your fans can pick you up, I think they can get you out of the game too. You go down, you give up a grand slam in the third inning, and you start getting some boos. I feel like it can bring you in the opposite direction as well. I don't know that. I mean, I saw it happen to the Dodgers a couple of games ago. They were getting booed, and it kind of got them out of the game. So I think just as much as your fans can pick you up, if you got tough fans, I think they could knock you down too. I don't know if it's. I think it's a double-edged sword, home field advantage.
Well, I think a lot depends on, each ballpark has different features, right? So, the mound in Washington is going to be different than the mound in Milwaukee. Still similar, but there's going to be slight differences. I think you want your starting pitcher, if he's comfortable out on the field that he pitches the most on, I think that's a little bit of an advantage
I
from
think
a pitching
Fenway
standpoint.
Park's a good example of it's an advantage on both walls, left field and right field wall, to have a lot of experience playing it. So you get an in-division guy, he might know those walls well. Obviously, if you play on the team, you know those well. If it's somebody coming from the West Coast, they're not as comfortable playing in that stadium. So I could see that as an advantage.
Yeah, but let's talk about. So you have a graphic up here: home team winning percentage by sports. Just overall, what are you looking at? What do you see?
Yeah, it looks like I don't know the Major League Soccer home team seems to win a lot. Obviously, in all the college games, basketball and football, I think that's obviously biased. You have a lot less competitiveness in college sports than you do in pros. You get George Mason's not going. Michigan's not coming to play George Mason. If George Mason's going to play Michigan, they're going to Michigan. So a lot of the better teams usually get home field. So I think that's swayed. NBA about 62% of the time home field wins. NFL 58%.
So go back to your previous point. You said in baseball,
Yeah.
you said home field doesn't matter as much. The fans can kind of, or you were saying about my fan comment, that fans can make it just as bad as they can good. So why now we're talking about college players, maybe a little bit more, I don't know if emotional is the right word, but younger players that may not be as emotionally mature as that's the professionals. Why do you think the college atmosphere is such a good, the home crowd matters so much more for college versus pro?
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the home field, the crowd does not matter in college. I'm saying the team that is going to get home field advantage in most college games is usually the more powerful program. Powerful programs will pay like cheaper teams to come in and basically do scrimmages against them. UMass played against Virginia. Like they didn't go to Virginia didn't go to UMass to play. UMass went to Virginia. So usually the home field is going to be the powerhouse. You're going to get a lot of blowout home games. You're going to bring in a team to blow out at home. I mean, you're going to bring in good teams too, but that happens in college. The power programs win more than the weaker programs, and they do it at home games. So I think that's a skewed statistic.
Well, it's interesting. So a lot of sports bettors know that if the team is at home, give them 3 points. That's kind of like the common rule everybody says. Give the home team 3 points. I think it definitely matters.
I think it matters in the sport too. I think it does matter less in baseball when crowd noise is more important in football than it is in baseball.
I
Communication
agree.
on the field in football is more important.
Correct. Like, have you ever seen? I think it's Texas A&M college baseball. They have this thing where if a opposing pitcher throws, I think it's 3 balls in a row, the entire crowd just starts chanting ball. So if you just threw 3, they'd say ball 4, ball 4, ball 4. The entire crowd does this.
Yeah.
And they get pitchers to go to like 16 in a row.
It freaks them out.
So it definitely can get into certain players' heads. But yeah, when you're saying football, home crowd can disrupt the huddle, right? Like, you're not going to be able to hear it as well. You're going to create false starts. It's going to be harder in certain sports like basketball.
Oh, just the audibles at the line. The offensive communication is more important than the defensive communication. The defense can communicate just off what the offense is doing, but if the offensive line can't hear the quarterback, it can make a big deal. Go into the second part of the question, because I think it sort of solidifies some of the points that we're trying to make.
Sure. So he said, in the Nat situation, the debate is, do you play for home field for the wild card game, or do you set up your rotation the way you want? Does Max throw on Sunday to get home field if you need it, or do you go on the road with your guys all rested and ready? So obviously we know the situation now has already happened. They didn't need to. They had 2 games on the Brewers going into Sunday, so they didn't need to wrap up the wild card. So of course they didn't play. However, it was interesting that they did choose to play a lot of their starters, trying to keep the winning streak alive. Which I don't know. I thought was interesting. You might want an extra day of rest there.
Something to be said about momentum, maybe. Can't get in the head of the clubhouse for what they're thinking,
But based on all this, you're going to say that you would rather shore up your rotation, and who cares if you're playing in Milwaukee? You want Scherzer, Strasburg, whoever you want to go with.
It's a tougher question when we're dealing with such a great rotation like the Nats. If you don't see a big drop off from 1A to 1C, well, you're going to get plenty of rest for that guy anyway. But yes, I'm saying if you've got one guy, I would save him for the playoff game and get him definitely to pitch as many innings in the playoffs as possible. I'm not as concerned about home field in baseball.
Generally speaking, I'm going to try to get home field. I just think I never like the idea, whether it's in a specific game or within strategy for something like the wildcard playoffs, I never want to see a team change their position like all of a sudden the Nats have an 8-game winning streak and you're going to rest your guys. Yeah, I don't care if we lose. It is what it is. We want to get our... No, like you keep going with momentum. You keep doing everything you're doing. If you're in a football game and you're up 21-0 and passing is working, you run the ball a little bit to run out the clock, whatever, but you keep your same game plan. If passing is working, you keep passing. I never like to play to lose. I always play to win.
You play all your starters in Week 17 in the NFL if you've got home field locked up. Some people
play them. I don't play them the entire game, but I definitely play a few series just like I would in preseason to make sure that they're still looking good.
That's what Belichick does.
Like Max Scherzer could go out there and maybe he pitches 2 innings on Sunday, looks really good. Okay, I've seen what I need to see. It's good. Shut him down. Get everybody in, kind of see what you got. Maybe get Doolittle in for an inning, get some confidence there.
Yeah, I think it's situational to every team and the situation they're in. Again, the momentum is something to be said about. But to specifically answer the question, do I think home field advantage is that important, or would I rather have healthy, rested players? I would much prefer healthy, rested players. Every situation is different. Different pitchers want to stay on routine and things like that. That also has to be factored in. If you're going to get all your guys healthy anyway, then go ahead and play for home field. I'd still rather have home field than not, but it's very close to a coin flip for me. I think you can your fans can turn on you. You're down 4-0. You don't want to be in that situation to begin with, but I'm saying the same way that I think home field advantage can be helpful to you, I think it can at times it can burn you a little bit too. I think it is a double-edged sword. That's all I'm saying.
So we have a stat here. So it says the visiting team has had a surprising amount of success in the wildcard games, having won 8 of the 14 games played by an average of 3.75 runs per win. So 5 games ended in a shutout. It's all been by the opposing team. 2017 was the first time both home teams won. 6 wins in 14 games for the home team. So maybe in the wild card, that's a small sample size, but maybe it doesn't matter as much as I'm making out to be. I still want home field advantage.
Or maybe those away teams were resting their good starters going up to that game.
Yeah, I don't know. Definitely from a pitching standpoint, Scherzer or Strasburg or Corbin, I would think is better than Woodruff.
Yeah, it's a great question though.
All right, so let's have a little bit of fun. We'll go with
all right.
Started with kind of the game of Clue.
So it started with I heard a segment. We had the Trubisky talk back and forth, and unfortunately did get hurt. But I heard one of the Bears beat writers saying, I don't know if he has. He's a great player, and I interviewed him. He's the nicest guy in the world. I don't know if he's got that killer mentality. He says, like Tom Brady, or Aaron Rodgers, they're going to be willing to do whatever it takes to win. Maybe Mitch Trubisky is too nice of a guy. So we get the idea for quarterback Clue. If you think a quarterback is a killer, or is he a nice guy, and what is his choice of weapon if he is a killer? If he's got the killer mentality, we should say.
Okay, interesting.
All right.
You threw in a little mix that I wasn't aware of.
What's that?
Well, the whole killer mentality. I thought we were doing Clue weapons. I got weapons right now, so I got to quickly decide if they're a killer or not.
Oh, well, the guys that you didn't think were killers, I didn't mean for you to do them. Yeah, you could throw that in. You could say maybe this guy's not a killer, but that's the weapon you'd use.
Okay.
All right, lead us off. Give me one.
Let's start with Lamar Jackson, my favorite.
Okay, Lamar. He's got a killer mentality. Yeah?
Are you asking me if he does?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, he does.
Yeah, I think he does too. I think he's going to go out there and get it. What's his weapon of choice for you?
For me, I said that it's going to be a leg, but it's disguised as an arm.
Oh, that's tricky.
So Lamar will constantly tell you, I'm going to beat you with my arm, but it's the legs that really do the damage.
Just the same way he kills you in football, he kills you with the run-pass option.
Yeah.
I've got that he kills you with a constant juke. He puts you on juke and runs past you, and you're just stuck in constant motion of juke until you run out of energy and die.
Interesting.
Yeah, no, that's a good one.
Okay. It's never good when you have to say that it's a good one for the one that you made.
Okay, you didn't like it.
All right. No, it's not bad. Let's go with we'll go with another one of my guys.
Okay.
Mitch Trubisky.
Trubisky. I've got him, like I said, as the Bears beat reporter. He's off my list. He's a.
Oh, so I see. Well, you could still have a weapon. It's just maybe it doesn't get the job done.
He doesn't follow through with it. What's the weapon?
For me, I said it's a bear trap because he's going to beat you with his brains. He's going to set up a trap to lure you into whatever the game. He's a game manager. Lure you in, get the bear trap.
Okay, I like it. Non-killer mentality for me. Let's keep going down the list.
Matt Ryan.
Matty Ice, I got as a non-killer.
I could see that. I said if he was going to do it, he'd be an ice pick because he's Matty Ice.
Matty Ice, I like that one. It's perfect.
It's also the perfect murder weapon.
It's a good murder weapon.
Patrick Mahomes.
What do you got?
I said scissors.
Why?
I just think he's gonna like
Cut you up?
cut through your defense.
I like that one. I went obvious on this. He's just going to knock your head off with a football. A little too obvious, I know, but it is Mahomes.
Okay, so like a cannon.
Just throws a football at your, knocks you out.
I thought of that one. I didn't do one for Josh Allen, but I thought like I need like a macho man, like I'm just gonna throw it through you type guy.
Yeah. So you went Josh Allen?
I was just thinking. I didn't actually come up, but the idea of just like can throw it the farthest can kind of throw it through.
I've got Josh Allen with the rope in the conservatory, being that he's from Wyoming Cowboys. Got the lasso idea. He could go lasso or rope.
Yeah. Does he have that mentality?
Yeah, I thought it was funny to go with the lasso. I don't know.
Yet to be determined. I
Yet
think.
to be determined. Some of these young guys you can't pick on.
Yeah, and if you're on a bad team, it's like maybe you're just not in a position to really do any damage.
I got Cam Newton, Dirty Harry's Magnum 44 revolver.
Okay, explain that one. You know my movie.
You have a cultural deficit on movies. So it's just an old school detective. He's the sheriff, but he's sort of getting busted and worn down. He's kind of an old guy now. It's an old guy weapon.
Is Cam that old? How old
He's
is Cam?
30, but I mean we're on a lot of injuries here. I'm playing off that he's not keeping it together anymore. It looks like he's getting banged up. You got one, Andy Dalton.
You know my feelings on Andy Dalton. Andy Dalton does not deserve to be in the conversation.
Andy Dalton keeps pelting with a Red Ryder BB gun. Maybe. Not a red rifle, Red Ryder BB gun. But that's not enough to kill you. So he just makes you a Bengals fan, and that's enough to make you hurt yourself.
I think he would be maybe a fireball, but not like a cool fireball, like literally one of those candies. That's just like, it's just not that good. Like you'll take it, but it's just not that good. It's not going to damage you, but maybe you get a little bit of like a sore tongue afterward,
Yeah, I think he just makes you a Bengals fan and you can't take it.
Can we go back to Cam Newton?
Newton?
I didn't have one for Cam Newton, but I had one for Kyle Allen.
Let's do it.
Kyle Allen, his weapon of choice, kryptonite. Gets the Superman out of there.
The backup, yeah.
Yeah.
I like the little kid. This is Kyle Allen, warming up the arm. Aaron Rodgers, I went icicle, because there's plenty available in Green Bay. And if he kills you, nobody's ever going to know about it. That's the perfect weapon.
What'd you say, icicle?
Icicle. You melt the murder weapon when you're done with it. There's no evidence. Aaron Rodgers is methodical, leaves nothing behind. He's sipping a coffee the next day at his breakfast table and says, "I don't know what you're talking about, police officer."
With his State Farm agent, right?
Yes.
Not State Farm. It is State
Discount
Farm.
double check.
Yeah.
Allstate?
I get always Allstate.
Allstate. They all look the same.
Yeah.
They're not. Their advertising isn't good.
Aaron Rodgers, I went with a cheese grater. That's just a cheese reference.
A home run.
You gotta if he's got to put some sort of cheese on the melted ice, something to just let him know that maybe that's his.
A Packer got you.
Yeah.
Gardner Minshew the second, and by the way, he is the second, but his father is not the first.
I didn't have one for him.
He gets you with his mustache. Same way Chuck Norris would get you with his beard. Gardner Minshew gets you with his mustache.
Gardner Minshew, I just thought of one. The whole Uncle Rico reference in Napoleon Dynamite.
Yeah.
He gets you with the roundhouse kick. Right?
Roundhouse kick, or he throws steak at you? Didn't he throw steaks?
Yeah. That's a good one.
Make your safe dang quesadilla.
Did you see they did an actual ESPN thing on Uncle Rico?
I saw it with him. It was the actor that played Uncle Rico.
Yeah, that was funny.
Good.
Big win for him. Big comeback win for Gardner Minshew. He's looking
like
good.
He could be the guy. The mustache is legit. Gardner.
He's one of those guys, though. I think if you just look at his combine numbers, he doesn't impress you that much, which probably led to his 6th-round pick.
6th-round pick. He almost didn't go to Washington State. He almost went to be the 3rd-string quarterback at Alabama because he thought he was just going to be a coach.
He's one of those kind of like Baker was always like an afterthought until getting to the pros. Well, until getting to college.
Baker was a backup at Texas Tech. Cliff Kingsbury recruited him there too. Flipped over to Oklahoma, won the job. I got Phillip Rivers strangled you with a bolo tie.
A bolo tie?
Big bolo tie wearer of Phillip Rivers.
What's bolo?
Your bolo tie is like you picture a Texan, a guy from Texas. He's got the string tie.
Okay.
Rivers is a sports that I think he could get you with that.
He definitely has the killer mentality.
Oh, without a doubt. You see it in his eyes. He's got fire.
He will kill his own teammate if he has to win the game.
I think he'd throw Melvin Gordon under a bus if he had to win a game. Tom Brady?
I wanted to say sheep just because I knew it would upset you that he thinks he's the GOAT, but it's really a sheep.
Oh, that's pretty good. What'd you go with?
I didn't even do one.
I've got small needles to deflate your lungs.
Small needles to
Very
deflate
small.
your lung. Deflategate. That's what we're doing.
deflate. Yeah,
Interesting.
Deflate
But
you.
the-
Get you by cheating.
Oh, that's what I had. He was going to beat with a zebra. Was the one I was going to go with.
Oh, because he gets the rest on his
Yeah.
side. Drew Brees, I said, would make a traffic sign adjustment, like "Do not enter," bridge out. He takes the sign away. He's a air traffic control quarterback.
Interesting. He
Oddly.
definitely has killer mentality.
Oh yeah.
One of the underrated killer mentalities, I would say.
Oh yeah. He's a monster. Sam Darnold would kiss you.
You want to explain that one?
He's got mononucleosis. You can kill you. It's a more serious condition than you think it is.
Okay. I would go with Mark Sanchez might be the one kissing with the butt fumble.
Okay.
I don't know.
I still think mononucleosis is more serious
Yeah,
than people
all right.
say. Be careful, Sam. Don't play with an inflamed spleen.
I think Sam Darnold might be the number one killer of all people.
Why?
Sitting. There's too much sitting. I see a lot of sitting in Sam Darnold's future.
You're going for the physical therapy angle. If you don't use it, you lose it. Motion is lotion. Carson Wentz, I got doing a body slam from a very high ladder, the wrestling move. He'll get you, but he's probably going to get hurt in the process.
That is stay tuned for a future episode. We are going to do old school wrestlers comparisons, I
That's
believe.
going to be a fun one.
That'll be fun. I'll have to brush up on Stone Cold's the only one coming to mind right now.
Yeah, I'm a big Jake the Snake fan. Jameis Winston, you could say he's had a lot of legal troubles, and some of them are some inappropriate things, but we'll just go with the most appropriate legal trouble of death by crab.
Yeah, you got to have something with crab.
Yeah, just put crabs on you.
All right, you ready to get a little more serious?
All right, more serious.
Let's
a little
start
fun
talking
quarterbacks.
health.
If you have other quarterback clue ideas, you can throw them at us through.
Yeah,
email.
definitely comment on. We're live right now on Facebook, so if definitely some people are commenting. Let us know what your thoughts are.
I don't know what that means.
We're gonna go. Yeah, we're not sure what EBV stands for.
Torture with something. Okay.
Torture chilling. Yeah, it's getting a little weird on the comments. Let's go with my guy, Mitch Trubisky. It's a shame because we're not really going to see his full potential for this year in terms of stats.
What was our board bet though? Trubisky against Baker, right? Per game.
What's it per game? Did we do one on that?
I thought we did Trubisky against
Okay.
Baker.
We did wins.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, well, this puts the Bears in trouble now.
But anyway, so he dislocated his shoulder, non-throwing arm.
His left arm.
Looks like there was a slightly torn labrum, they're saying, which comes with a dislocated shoulder. So first off, just tell us about glenohumeral joint,
Sure.
kind of ball and socket. What does it mean to have a dislocated shoulder?
So it's it's simple answer when the ball comes out of the socket. The shoulder is the least stable joint in the body. It's literally just like a golf ball sitting on top of a tee, and if it falls off that tee, you've basically dislocated. Now there's soft tissue around the tee that's holding it in place, and that soft tissue is the labrum and the rotator cuff. So when the ball comes off the tee, it often tears a little bit of that connective tissue that's protecting it, the labrum. So that might be an injury in his case. When you saw him go down on an outstretched arm, the humerus, you could see the ball of the humerus move forward. So he probably has a tear in the area of we call it a Bankart lesion, which if you look on a clock is from 3 to 6 to 7 o'clock, sort of the anterior inferior portion of his shoulder looked like it may have been injured.
So it's interesting. So a lot of overhead athletes, baseball players, football quarterbacks, have labral tears that are often asymptomatic just from the motion of arm
Right,
overhead, full external rotation. But we're saying this one's a non-throwing shoulder just based on how he landed.
So you can come back and play with a labral tear. It's sort of a pain issue. It's definitely a stability issue. It can dislocate again, but they'll put it in a harness and they'll try to stabilize it. And how many weeks do you think we're looking? It could be a mild injury here.
Right. So I think the expected or anticipated date that people are saying are week 7. So he's
Yeah.
going to miss a couple games. I mean, the good news if you're a Bears fan is that Chase Daniels looked good.
Right. We'll
They
see.
were able to win that game. It was a good game. They won.
So not a season-ending injury. It's still an injury he could have surgery for, but it's a surgery that they could wait to the offseason. There are some other structures that can get injured here. The axillary nerve can sometimes get stretched. You got to make sure that there isn't any nerve concerns, or sometimes when the bone pops in, you can have a little bit of an injury to the bone called a Hill-Sachs lesion. So they're all things that just have to be monitored. Hopefully Mitch is okay and he gets his killer mentality.
So if they put him back in the game, let's say a couple weeks, still your fear is going to be the same thing, another trauma but it would be with anybody, right?
Yeah.
How do they kind of give it extra stability? Does this go back to kind of like we had Alex Cruz on last week and talking taping? Are they going to try to add stability through taping? Is it going to be more of a brace? What do you think they're going to do?
There's an overhead harness that they can use on him that will provide stability to the anterior labrum and shoulder itself. So if he falls down on it again, that can sort of try to provide a little bit of support there, but it'll limit his overhead mobility in his non-throwing arm. Not overly concerned about that. Yeah.
Okay. Let's go into another injury last week. Devante Adams had to leave the game in the fourth quarter last week. They're saying it's turf toe.
I was bummed out with this. I'm a Devante Adams owner, and they're saying it's a minor injury. I'm still looking to sell. Turf toe to me is a major concern, specifically in wide receiver positions. Other positions, other sports, I'm not as worried about it. But if you're looking at a receiver, the general public, what do they usually think is the most important body part on the receiver?
He got good hands.
Yeah. Odell can show that he only needs one hand to play. You need both your toes. So the turf toe happens at your big toe. It's at the joint where your toe sort of bends, the main joint where your toe bends up, the MTP joint. And what happens is you tear some of the ligaments around there. It's very painful, and you need stability at that joint in order to get open in the NFL. People, if you're not familiar with route running in the NFL, it's not just about being fast. You have to be able to put your foot in the ground, turn, and move in order to get open. And turf toe can really limit your ability to do this. And even if you can do it, it can be painful. So I know they're saying it's a minor injury. I'm concerned with it. And similar to what we were talking about with the ankle sprain the other week, it's another injury where we've seen with players in the past, with A.J. Green last year, where this sort of lingers. He could be, he kind of plays on it, misses a couple snaps next week, but he got 30, scores a touchdown. Oh, next week it's a problem again. So it's definitely something worth monitoring. And even though it's minor, it's something that raises red flags for me.
And it seems like it's going to be one of those injuries that every single week he's going to be questionable, not practicing much, limited participant. Do I start him? Do I not? It's going to be it's not a good situation to be in for a fantasy owner.
Hopefully they're right. It's very minor and they manage it conservatively now and it goes away. But be careful; these things linger.
You mentioned that you would consider selling him if you could still sell him high right now after he had a monster game. He's destroying the Eagles.
Yeah, you look at his schedule. He hasn't had good games so far because his schedule started so difficult. Bears, Vikings, somebody else that was great. Finishes the same way. So, yeah, you could sell him on a high game. I don't know how much you're going to get for him knowing that he's got a little bit of lingering injury. Someone reads the report that doesn't think it's a big deal, and you can get... I wonder if I could get... You think it'd be a bad sell to sell him for Tyreek Hill coming back in 2 weeks? Probably. Tyreek Hill and a little replacement, maybe? I'm more confident in the SC joint staying stable than turf toe not getting irritated.
Yeah, just from the injury perspective. I might want to have Tyreek Hill, to be honest.
Juju has a bad game tonight. Still worried about the quarterback. I don't know. You never want to sell on a guy that just had a game like that, but be careful.
Another guy trying to come back right now is A.J. Green.
Yes.
He had that ankle sprain. It's been a while. Been a couple months since he's...
Yeah, the last week of preseason. Early in preseason.
Yeah.
One of the first games, yeah.
So there's video of him surfacing today. He's doing a little bit of some side-to-side drills, kind of some shuffling of his feet. But they're still saying it looks like he's still a few weeks out.
Yep. 2 at the best, maybe still another month. Hopefully sometime in October.
Yeah. Is he a guy that you're expecting to come back at full strength? Is he going to be somebody that's... the Bengals are going to be out of it by the time he comes back.
That's been the problem the last couple of years. They hold him out saying, we don't want to get him hurt worse because they haven't been in it. Toe and hamstring last year. If he's playing, you still want him.
Yeah. Stuff. We had a bunch of concussions last week. So we are planning on getting a concussion expert in here to kind of talk about the overall themes of concussion. We know that they're very variable and kind of each person recovers at a different time. So look forward to that one. Some kind of key guys to note are Hawkinson, Jarvis Landry, and who was the other one?
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen, yeah.
They said dirty hit by the Patriots DB. Concussion's the most serious injury you can get, but also the least predictable one you can get. We'll get some of the concussion experts on, and we'll go through some of the research and understanding of it. If you got concussion questions, you can go ahead and send them in to us. We can answer them ourselves, or we can make sure we get the right person to answer those questions for you. But very serious injuries, don't take them lightly. One concussion can have a profound effect on you. It's possible.
Yep. Yep, definitely. So let's go into kind of just overall concerns that you may have. So if you're the Baltimore Ravens, you just got beat at home by, I think, 25 points, 15 points. Are you concerned? Are you, what was kind of a stranglehold in the division? Now you're tied with the Browns, and the Browns just beat you at home?
Yeah, you got to be concerned, of course. Lost at home. Shouldn't lose at home.
Yeah. Do we now think that the Browns are the favorites to win the division, just like they were preseason?
I think I've stood by that the whole time.
I still think Ravens are the favorites. I think they'll figure it out. I think they had a down week. Yeah, it looks like the Mark Andrews connection has not been as strong the last 2 games as it was the first 2 games. I think they'll figure it out. They're going a lot more to Nick Boyle.
Another guy dealing with an injury right now. He can't stay on the field. Mark Andrews has, it's not specific, some type of foot injury.
Yeah. Let's go to guy I have in a couple of fantasy leagues, Adam Thielen. He's had a good first 3 weeks, but every single week, one, he had a rushing touchdown. You're not going to expect that. He's been catching passing touchdowns, but he really hasn't been targeted. He's kind of one of those high-volume players that this year the Vikings are just saying, we're going to run the ball with Dalvin Cook, and it's winning. They're winning games. So I don't know. For me, he had his first bad game this past week. I'm a little bit concerned about Adam Thielen moving forward just because the number of targets aren't there like they were in past years.
Yeah, I'd still try to sell him if you can, even though he had a bad week. Mike Zimmer made it clear why he got DiFilippo out of there. He wants to run the heck out of the ball. Dalvin Cook is the only Viking I feel very comfortable playing right now. They want to run the ball. They want to play defense and run the ball. The play actions will be there. He'll still get these touchdowns time to time, but you're right. If volume isn't there, you're worried about it.
Yep.
Sell him if you can.
Stephon Diggs
Don't
had
sell
a
him
good
for
game
nothing.
last week.
Yeah, it's going to be for both of them. I think it's going to be spotty and scary. Don't give him up, obviously. Thielen's got value, but if you can get someone who's getting bigger share of the targets here, it'd be nice to have.
Back to the Browns game, OBJ was only, I think, like couple catches for 20 yards. Is that a product of teams just doubling him and making sure that he doesn't beat you? We saw Jarvis Landry have 8 catches for 157 yards. Chubb went off, so was it just like Ravens mistaken, hey, we're shutting down OBJ, but now Chubb's running loose and Landry's getting free?
I think they were trying to win the football game, and the Ravens couldn't stop Nick Chubb, so that's what they did. And I'm a little afraid that that's a formula that could work for the Browns going forward. There's also a share in catches there where Jarvis is going to get his balls. Ricky Seals-Jones, they were leaving wide open to make sure that Odell and Jarvis were covered. That could continue. He could be an ad. Former quarterback, high school, 5-star recruit to Texas, played receiver at Texas, tight end in the NFL. If he's opening, he's a super athlete. This is like a 6'6", 235-pound guy that can run 4.4 speed. Can't block. But, so for Odell, I'm still not selling on him. I'll take Odell. I'll take Odell if I can get him. But, yeah, you're a little worried that maybe this team wants to run a bit.
What are your thoughts on Leonard Fournette? I know you wanted to talk about Leonard Fournette today after my comments last week.
You told him that you said he was a bad NFL running back. Goes off for 220 yards. I said, he'll get it. He's going to get his. He's a good running back.
In like late third quarter, before he ripped off like a 60-yarder, he did not look that great. He had a great third and fourth quarter.
He finished with 228 yards. He's a grinding, aggressive runner that wears you down. He's going to get most of his yards in the second half.
I would be selling him high as I possibly can if I'm a Leonard Fournette owner, which I never would be.
I tried to trade Josh Jacobs for him last week, and I couldn't get him. But he gets hurt. You're right. We both agree that he likes to play to 100%.
And he doesn't. We talked about that killer mentality earlier in the show. He's the exact opposite, I would say.
I disagree with you. I think he does have the killer mentality. He just likes to be pristine and perfect about it.
Yeah,
you watch
as
that?
long as he's not injured,
he's aggressive. He's a violent runner.
I don't know.
He wants to chew you
can
up.
go back to college. Let's not beat a dead horse there.
Yeah,
and then after last week with the Lions really taking it to the Chiefs, which the Chiefs did win at the very end, are we concerned at all with the receivers? I mean, we both played Hardman last week. We thought, Chiefs on turf, Mahomes going to be able to launch the ball down the field.
Yeah.
We did not see that. So the Lions just figure out something the rest of the league hasn't? Or should we have a little bit of concern with Hardman, Demarcus Robinson, Sammy Watkins didn't get going? Really, the Chiefs receivers, Kelsey, I think, still put up some good numbers. But Chiefs receivers, kind of a hit or miss, or is that something you feel comfortable going with Hardman, Robinson, Watkins, moving forward?
So they just took what the Lions gave them, which was passing to the running backs in the running game. Hardman and Robinson, I think, are both boom or bust receivers.
If I remember correctly, last week you mentioned that Patrick Mahomes was going to have not 5, not 6, 7 passing touchdowns.
Yeah, you'd think he would have had a better game with Darius Slay out on the turf in Detroit, but they played him well, and they played sort of a weird prevent type defense and just said, go ahead and beat us with the run, and that's what they did.
Yeah. So we got comments here. Lions might be decent. I agree. They're 3-1 now with a very narrow loss to the Chiefs. Carry-on looked really good.
Except for the fumble in the 1 yard line that went back for a fumble 6.
Yeah, which was kind of a I get the whole not calling the play dead to let it go, but clearly the wide receiver had a chance to tackle him and he just let him go because he was I don't know.
I thought it was a terrible game to watch if you were a Lions fan, and it was a very frustrating game to watch if you were a Chiefs fan.
Yeah, and then we got another comment or a question. Thoughts on Ekeler moving forward? Ekeler with another big game. Melvin Gordon's activated. Melvin Gordon did not see the field, which is kind of what we expected. I think Ekeler is still a running back 1, running back 2. Probably more on the running back 2 conversation, but he is still a great running back in that system. He's still getting all of his catches. He's still going to be out there on third down.
That's not the case necessarily historically, though. Melvin Gordon plays on third down, too. I mean, Eckler's a great receiving back, but Melvin Gordon's also a great receiving back.
I think it's slightly different now in the fact that Ekeler has proven that he is their guy right now, right? Like he's still. We talked about it last week.
Anthony Lynn came out and said the opposite. He said Melvin Gordon is our guy. He said those exact words.
And then we didn't see him on the field at all.
And but he also said he would do that. He's not going to throw him out there if he thinks he's going to get hurt, if he doesn't know the new playbook yet.
I mean, in terms of fantasy, if you're thinking, should I sell Ekeler right now? I think general consensus is that people are low on Ekeler right now with Melvin Gordon coming back. I think his value is still high. I would not be trying to trade Ekeler right now. I think you're going to get a poor return on investment. I think he's still a good player. I have him in a league. I'm happy to keep him.
I agree. I 100% agree. I still think he's still a good player. I definitely don't think he's a running back 1. He's going to drop from 20 touches a game, probably to about half. Maybe in this first game back, we see him do a 50-50 split with Melvin, and they're around 15-15, and then we see Ekeler kind of move down to 10. But let's go back to the track record of superstar NFL running backs holding out. Like 75% of the time, they get a major injury in the first 2 weeks back. I'm not selling Ekeler for a second. I think he's a starting running back before the end of the season again. And Melvin Gordon also has an injury history. Hold Ekeler, don't move him. PPR, definitely play him. Non-PPR, you can stash him on your bench still. 0.5, he's a flex running back 2 if you need him. Start him if in PPR still.
I'll go on record. I do not think Melvin Gordon will get injured. I don't see the huge risk in him. But I mean, you like trends, you like numbers.
Find injury. So how can we make a board better? He won't miss a game this year due to injury, or he won't have a listed injury, because he's definitely going to have a listed injury.
Oh yeah, everybody has a listed injury.
So how many games are left? We've played 4,
so
12.
Yep.
I think he plays less than half of them.
I will take that one.
Okay. I'm giving a lot on this one, but I feel good.
I don't know why you give so much. I feel like that's the reason that it's just so easy, you know? You gave me 4.9 touchdown passes against Patrick Mahomes.
I don't think you took it.
Are you kidding me?
Oh, you took it?
4.9?
I'll probably give that again to you at some point this season.
Yeah. All right, so as always, email us in your questions, willandmarkshso@gmail.com. We are officially, we're not going to be at Glory Days in Alexandria anymore. We are looking at going into some other places in Fairfax.
Yeah, Fairfax, tell us your favorite bars. If you're out at watching football, let us know, and we can contact the establishments and see if we could set up a HSO day there.
Yep. Big shout out to the winners, though. They are on Instagram with us from last week.
Yep. A couple Pats fans won.
All right, so over and out.
Over and out. Talk to you next week.